I was on track to do a PhD at Oxford in literature and then be a tenured professor somewhere by the time I was 30. But I found a loophole in the student handbook that allowed me to skip my junior year of college and still graduate on time. So I skipped the year to save my parents' tuition money, and I went to Alaska. I hitchhiked from New York to Alaska. During that experience, I met so many amazing people that had no fucking clue who Nietzsche was or Joseph Conrad or Emerson or Thoreau or all these people that I was studying, the stuff that was so important to me. And I sort of looked back at my friends who were all these, verified geniuses and realized they were sort of assholes. And that I didn't really want to be like that. I mean, they were good to me. They were kind to me, but they would have been real assholes if any of these people had stumbled into their world. And here I was stumbling into this other world, and I was being welcomed and assisted, and people were taking me home and feeding me and letting me sleep on their sofa. And I was welcomed into their lives in a way that my friends wouldn't have welcomed other strangers into their lives. So I had this sort of midlife crisis at 20 and realized that I was going in the wrong direction. And so what I said was, until I'm 30, I'm not going to commit to anything. I'm just going to travel around the world, have adventures, and let life do what it will to me. I was just talking with a friend about that last night, actually, a guy who'd made a lot of money. We were talking about travel because he'd made a bunch of money, and he said, now what do I do? I thought this would make me happy, and instead I'm just lost. I was saying to him that the thing about money is money buys you comfort, but comfort is numbness. The meaning of life and the interesting things that happen in life, the surprises in life, are things that happen when you can't afford to be comfortable, when you're backpacking as opposed to flying on your private jet to a 5-star hotel. That's when you meet the interesting people, when you're hitchhiking. Of course, you got to stand by the side of the road and deal with Jesus freaks and rapists, but you're going to meet some really interesting people along the way. And that's what you have to pay for it. And if you can avoid paying for it, most of us will avoid it. Most of us will opt for comfort. But that's a fatal mistake, because what protects you from inconvenience also removes you from life. When my life was so full of change, because I was traveling, and again, I was marking the travel by full moons. Like I remember in India, I was in Kashmir on Dal Lake in Srinagar, and it was a full moon. And I thought, okay, so let's see, I want to be at the Taj Mahal for the next full moon. So I, went traveling and blah, blah, blah. A month later, I'm at the Taj Mahal for the next full moon. And I look back and say, that was a month? That feels like years. I think of all the people I've met, all the things I've seen, all the experiences, all the surprises, it was just so much packed into that 1 month. And that's what gave me the sense that, the length of your life isn't measured in years. It's measured in experiences and friendships and surprises and discomforts. And, that's what measures time, because time is a measure of change. So when this experience in Tikal happened, I was 27. It was the full moon of April in 1989. And my girlfriend, Anna, met me in Guadalajara, and then we traveled together from there. In fact, just a couple months before that, we had been at Monte Alban near Oaxaca, which is another amazing complex of ruins. We'd been there for a full moon, and